Hello, everyone. Welcome to one of our normal length Timer Tip Tuesdays. We're going to try to keep this a little shorter to that 20-minute time frame that so many of you asked for. However, we are going to kind of ask you to ask questions during each topic. That way we get those answered, because the last thing we want to do is get you confused by moving on to the next topic or three topics down the line, and somebody asks a question and us jumping back and forth. So that being said, we're going to talk about some race day scoring quick tips. We just picked some random things that we feel, Matt Avery and I talked about, and we were like, we're seeing a lot of questions from both new timers and experienced timers about some of these items. So with that being said, for those of you that are new, just a reminder that you have a panel on the right. You can ask questions, so feel free to raise your hand or just ask the question in there. We are going to pause after each section. I'm going to ask Matt Avery, who's answering questions on the back end, if we need to discuss anything about that topic. And then once we've completed each topic, we'll move on. So I think we have about 4 or 5 topics. And like I said, we're going to try to keep this kind of short because I know all of you guys have a very busy week. So first thing we're going to talk about is kind of a review. However, a number of people are starting to get into data actions and participant data checks. So I am going to spend a bit more time on this than any of the other topics, just because of the potential for things to go sideways. When we talk about participant actions and participant data checks, where we're talking about is this little lightning bolt down at the bottom. And so when you click it, this screen will come up and you'll see add and participant data check. So something to remember, the add is the data action. By clicking participant data check, that is the participant data check. Now, for those of you that were on this talk a while back, you heard me say it about 15 times. I'm not going to say it 15, but just as a reminder to all of you. Participant data actions do not need your approval. So once you set it up, if it's not set up correctly, it's going to be running in the background and doing the incorrect thing without your hitting accept or anything like that. Personally, I always use participant data checks. It is a problem that I have with control, and that is I want to be able to approve any of these changes. Now, I can go in and click select all and approve all, carte blanche, like if I feel like everything looks good, but at the end of the day, for me, I can tell if it looks good. So just keep this in mind. If you're going into data checks, if you hit add on this, you're going to be adding a data check that goes through regardless of your review. So for automatic data actions, you're going to hit this add button. You're going to define the thing that you want to cause the trigger action. So you want to raw read and you want to edit it, and you can then define the data that should be updated. So you can hit that to get into the change section. So in this scenario, we're going to change the type of entity from participant, and we want to assign it to something. And so you can make raw read filters. So the most common use is to switch a participant's event based on their read at any given stream or the action trigger. And so in this scenario, you would select raw read filters. You would select the stream. For the in operation, you would select equals, you would select in instead of equals, and you would say that you want to, you would use a timestamp filter that says, if someone reads at this location, then they are in this event. So like, let's say you have a half marathon and a 5K, and you have a check mat that's like, whatever, 200 yards down on the 5K course. But it's not on the half marathon course. If someone hits this mat, then they move over into the 5K. And so you can say, field stream name equals check file, and we want to change their event. It looks like I changed it, sorry. Instead of 5K, I used 10K in this example. So the field assignment of event, the value will be assigned 10K. So if a read comes up in this check file, then that athlete is going to be moved to the 10K. And once you save this, it is going to happen anyone that hits this. Now, we always suggest to put time filters, things like that on there, because what if somebody's warming up, you know, and goes out and hits this thing? So you can put time filters on there that, you know, the race starts at 8 a.m. You can put a time filter from like 8:05 to whatever, noon. And anybody that hits that during that time, this will trigger. So what I normally use is this participant data check. You can do the exact same thing. However, what you can do is you can then review it before you accept or force that change. So you can hit a new data check, or you can click into previous data checks. And in the new data check, you can name your report at the top. You can determine what fields you want. You can add the filter, determine what you want to change, save the report, and then search, update, check all, or uncheck all. And so once it's saved, you can click search at the bottom. So for this one, we said that, you know, we didn't get a start read. So for this specific event, we said a swim chip start time of day is null. Swim chip finish time of day is not null. And the scored event is the individual triathlon. And so for this, we quite literally wanted to just run a check really quickly for anyone that didn't read at the chip start. And so this was the no start filter. So we also had a check mat, and so this is a different report, and you can see people at the bottom. So for this, we wanted to see check finish is not null. And so you can see we have, we hit search and we have people that hit this check mat, and this was just an example. So we're gonna exit out of here, and we're gonna go into an event that we actually used some of these for. So for data actions, we click in there. Again, just a reminder, I did not use any data actions. I go into participant data check. So we had multiple people in here, or sorry, multiple reports in here that we used. So we had a full to half DQ. People in this event were not allowed to switch from race to race without letting us know. So for this full to half DQ, we said that the registration event is the marathon. And these, we had, well, it looks like because I was using a different computer, those didn't pull in. Do we have, yeah, this one works. Full marathon drop check. So the scored event was the marathon. The bib is not null, which means we were doing dynamic bib assignment. So if they had a bib, we knew they were checked in. The full start finish occurrence one time is not null, and the full start to finish occurrence time 2 is null. So in this scenario, we said drop and value field to assign, and we have a number of people that fall into this category. So what we can do is we can hit let's see, check all. So you can see some people are dropped and some people aren't. And so when we hit check all and update selected participants, you will see all of these people that go to yes. So update selected participants, you can see now all of them are yes. So what's the benefit of that? If we go back, now we can see when we go in, I don't remember which one we were looking at, but I think it was this one, drop. So we go into the drop and we can see all those people that we dropped. So for me, I like to show no one in progress at the end, just because if they're in progress at the end of it, they're dropped. And so we went in and just dropped everyone that was not, that had not finished the race. All right, with that, I'm going to pause momentarily. And do we have any questions on that?
Nothing yet. What you did see there with that piece of data missing in your data check was a bug that has been fixed. It was not working when you uploaded it to the cloud, but that one has been fixed.
Yeah, this event's actually like a year old, so we're just using one with a lot of data points. So sorry for that.
No worries. Yeah, no
Um,
question. Yeah.
no questions. All right, moving on to the next one. This is one that a lot of you use, but some of you newer timers, or sorry, not newer timers, but newer to RaceDay scoring, um, should probably start implementing, and that is creating separate start-finish locations per event. Why should you do this? This allows you for time occurrence filters per event. It helps you clean data and disallow athletes who shifted events. So I'm going to go back into here. And so if I go into my timing locations for this event, you'll see full start to finish and half start finish. So the beauty of this is you can set, so this is the full. So we know that the event is going to start at whatever, 8 o'clock. So we're going to consider everything a start time until 8:55, but we're not going to allow a finish time until 10 o'clock. And we can set a specific gap factor to 2:10. The record at this event is like 2:17 or something like that. So it's well within the expectation. Now, if we only had one start finish, we couldn't do this because the people racing the half would meet these requirements because the half and the full start at the same time. One other thing that you can do is you can use this additional bib and time filters. So I usually go in and say, I want to accept times. So I think we started at 8:10 for this event. So that would make sense. We accepted times from 8:09:40. So we had 20 seconds before the start, and we allowed times until 4:30 p.m. And unfortunately, I think we had some people that were pretty close to that. So going back, we also have the half start finish. Oh, and let me show you that you see I have this specific stream, start finish direct. Well, when I go into the half, you see the exact same stream. And this one, we're going to allow starts to 8:55, but we're going to consider finishes till 8:55:01. And no one broke 103. So our gap factor for this specific event, using the exact same decoders and the exact same locations, is 103. Again, going in, our accept times between 8:09:40, and we allowed people until 3 o'clock. The course is open the entire time. It's the same course. So if you really want to go run a 8-hour half marathon, you're more than welcome to come to this event. But this allowed for two separate timing locations for the exact same physical timing location. And so this allowed for us to use different filters. Now, how does this work? We go into scored events. You can see for the half marathon, we have half start finish occurrence 2. And the registration events are the half marathon and the high performance half marathon. The full must be right above it. Sorry, I must scroll down. The full is the full start finish to full start finish 2, and only uses the full and the high performance. And when we go into streams, if we go into edit, you can see the two timing locations, the half and the full start finish. So both of those were used, or that one stream was used for both of those timing locations. Any questions on that? It's a great thing to use if you have, say, like a 5K, 10K, and the 5K starts after the 10K, but you might have people that switch from event to event, and some people show up late, things like that. It allows you to not have filtered folks out into the wrong event. So I use this at a lot of my events. Using time filters, we kind of just talked about that. So we can go back into that one. Again, I use time filters a lot with using specific timing locations. So you can set time filters. These are time filters, but I like to use these time filters as well for specific locations. So don't forget to use your time filters. Bib chip file reminders, and this is one that we get a lot of questions about because people get going and then don't realize, oh, I forgot to set my bib chip file. So if you go into the participants tab, and all the way on the right, you'll see the actions button over here, and you can go to setup chip auto assignment. You click choose file, which is down and to the right, and you can import that in if you have no header record, or if you do have a header record, and then you can map the fields, and then you can sort by bib or chip and see those values. So we'll go into an event here. Let's see. We'll go into this event because it's a triathlon. So again, we clicked on the participant, go to actions, set up chip auto assignment, and then we can choose file. Once we choose it, we can upload it, and this one has it uploaded already, and so you can see the bib chip file in here. So there's your bib chip file. So any questions about the bib chip file? And this bib chip file does not have to be, it does not have to be for, you know, a triathlon. This could be if you're, just anytime your bib does not match your chip. Now I will say, let's see if I can find a sample event in here that I can just break really quickly. Let's see, do we have data in there? Nope, sorry, I wanna break one. This is, I'm just gonna import a race. And so we will pull in and import. For those of you that have never pulled in previous races, that's what I just did. So now I have all the data in here. I'm not going to hit auto saves because I'm going to actually, well, I'm going to, I apologize. I want to find a race that doesn't have a bib chip file in there yet. So here we go. This one likely does not have one. So if we go in and see action, set up chip auto assignment, I lied, this one does. Dang it, sorry guys. Well, what I was gonna show you is if you don't have a bib chip file assigned and you assign one bib chip file, it's expecting to see a bib chip file, a bib assignment for every single other person. So keep that in mind when you're assigning bibs. If you just have to assign one, you need to assign all. And if that is the case, you can go in and into this same place, actions, set up chip auto assignment, and you can assign that one in there. And then for all the rest of them, you can say, I want to save range from 1 to 1,000. So if I do this, so it looks like we don't have any chip assignments. So it looks like the highest chip assignments are maybe in the 750s. Or yeah. And so if I go in to add 1 to 1 and I put 1 to 1,000, it's not going to overwrite what I already have. You can see 1 is 751. Now it will kind of foul some things up because I've already used some of these, but you can see the ones now are 1 to 1. So again, I don't want to save this because I just changed something for a live race. All right, so bib chip files, a lot of you are using them, especially those using multisport. Setting your corrals to gun times. Now, this is something that if you're using corrals, and this is like a wave start for like triathlons or larger corrals for marathons. You can create your corrals within RunSignup, and those will pull down. But just as a reminder, you still have to go into corrals and actually set your corral time for each one of these. And so this will go into, let's see, this event, and we'll go to corrals, And you can see all the corrals that were pulled down from RunSignup. Not a time start, but we have to go in and we set the corrals for each event. You can also do this right here, set start times, and do those one at a time. But if you know you did things correctly, you can set those in advance. A lot of times I will go in the week before and set in the start time for the proposed start time for each corral, and I'll update it later if I need to. Any questions so far? No? Alrighty. Well, now we're going to go into changing reports live.
Hey, Chris.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we just got one that came in. John G. Haynes is asking, can Chris give more detail on using timing location per event to identify participants who switched races without telling anyone?
So sure, usually this happens. So if I go back into, let's see, if I go, I'm trying to think of an example event that I might have. If you have, I might not have an example event, but I can show you what you would be looking for. So let's go to, sorry, I'm going back to that marathon event. And so if I go here and I'm looking at my timing locations, let's say the full starts at 8:15 or something like that. What you can do is you can actually set different filters there. And so with just these specific locations, you are going to see times outside of that window. And so like it would get filtered by these times if they were in the full, which one am I looking at? Sorry, full. If they were outside of the start window that you set, because you set like a full start place and a half start location, you could set it to filter out anyone outside of that. And then you could run a report, or you could have a data action for anyone that, like you could go to participant data check, new data check report, wrong event start, and you could add a filter for select location, and you can go down to, and it's going to take me a second to find it, but you could find the start finish. Let's see if I can find. So half start finish current time of day is, greater than this time. Again, I'm just making stuff up. And then you could do the same thing with the same occurrence is less than whatever this time, and we'll do it 1. And then field assigned would be event, and then we would change it to that. So if you saw an occurrence in between these two, so you could use a data check to do that, or you could use, if you had one location, or you could just filter those out by events. So, and you can, and again, these are, you're gonna see, you're gonna be able to select who it is. So if I hit search, I don't know if anything's, no, it's not, I wouldn't expect it to. This is one way to use data check for that. The other way would be in your timing locations using your time filters and using specific filters to filter out, like no one is considered a finisher in the full until 10 a.m., right? But in the half, no one is considered a full until 8:55. So that's one way we're filtering people out, so we're not getting errant reads for the wrong event, and when we go into our timing locations, only the half members are using these filters that we have, and only the full people in these two events are using the full filters that we have. Any other questions on that?
No questions, but another quick and easy way to find out if you're getting that kind of situation happening is if you go to the raw reads area and select the ignored reason dropdown, it'll let you just look at any raw reads that were ignored, because, and you could set it to be the ignored reason location not in any segment in this scored event. What that is saying is that given this person's event, this location doesn't make any sense. So it means that they were seen at a location that isn't associated with the event that they're registered for. So that'll give you a way to view all of the raw reads in that state.
Perfect. So on to the next thing, and this is something that our support team sees quite a bit. We as timers are calm and cool and collected, and then something happens. And some of us continue to stay calm, cool, and collected and methodically go through the how to fix it. And some of us click buttons frantically. And actually, I guess we probably all click buttons frantically at some point or another, and hope for the best. And so this is something to remember for changing reports live. So when you go in to an event, anytime you change something within the report, let's say you want it sorted a different way. Let's say you want a different column added or removed or something like that, and you save that report and it's already auto-saving. Well, once you do that, it's going to kind of break the report to some degree. So once you do save it, you need to come into your reports. You need to click the auto save settings. You need to click into here and hit save report and then save settings. And so I think I have an example of this already going. So let's see which event it was. I believe it was this event. And I think it was this test. Yes. All right. So what I did was I hit an autosave setting. You see, we have an autosave report right here. And I purposefully, should cumulative times places be used for splits? And I put yes. And I hit save stream and save settings. So I went ahead and saved that again. And so when we go into, let's see, we'll go ahead and turn that on. Of course, it's going to give me errors now. Well, this is an old one, but I had this set up and showing you that if you went into the, well, I cleared it all out. I apologize. So anyways, once you make a change in your report, so if we go into actions, edit, and we want to remove chip time for this. So the moment I change that, I need to go back into auto settings and back into here. And for this event, I don't want to show this. So I would hit save stream and save settings again. And you actually get that little toast up there at the top. So again, if anytime we go and edit a live event, like let's say I don't want to show splits either, it says at the top, to see the latest report changes at RunSignup, be sure to resave your autosave and quick publish settings by save settings. So again, you need to go into your autosave settings, save the stream, and save settings. And then you can close out of that. And again, like I'm I'm just on an old version of this, so I apologize. But that is something that a lot of folks forget and contact us like, oh, my results at RunSignup are all fouled up. What do I do? All right, and then the final thing that we're going to talk about is simple team scoring report setup. And so on this one, what you need to do is, number one, you can have teams set up at the RunSignup level. And so when you see those pull in, you see the teams pulled in, you can see team types as well. Well, you still need to go into reports, and more than likely, if you want a very specific team report like this one, I wanted to show the people in that report. So I'm gonna click build a report, and I can go to whatever, team summary. So events to include, I wanna include this event, and I want to go to team summary, and I hit save. Now I have this team summary report. Boom, we've got a team report. Also, if we're going back into that team summary report, this is for a very specific team type. So you also, before that even happens, sorry, you also need to go in and make sure team scoring. This was an aggregate event, so we added aggregate, average time, best scored, and they show average time. We scored 5 deep, and this was not by gender. And so if we wanted to go to, say, a relay, let's see, if we wanted to go to a relay report, we have Dare to Try Relays here. So we can see all the relay team members when we click on relays. We can go to teams. These are our team names. Team types, we have a couple different types, active duty, collegiate, and relay. And so for this, when we go into our scored events for our relays, you can see it's a relay and everybody has a common bib number. When we hit save, and it's going to say, please select the following options. We want to apply these rules to all types of relays. So now when we go in to our overall relay, we can see specific relay team report, and we can see one team type is active duty, the rest are regular relay teams. So just keep in mind, you need to make sure that you are you're going in and setting up team scoring, and you're setting it up the way you want it. So if you want it relay or aggregate. So if we go aggregate, it's going to give us all these other options for like cross country or, by gender. I always suggest to play with it. If you're confused as to how to set those up, and import some sample data, and double check that it's working like you want it to.
Hey Chris, before you go off this example, on that one you have 2 team types and 1 relay scored event.
Correct.
And so by default, we create these reports for you that will have all the team types combined into a single relay report. So can you show how you would go about creating, if you needed to, separate reports, one for one team type and one for a different one?
Sure. So when you go in here to build the report, events to include. And so actually, well, the one thing you need to do is you would want to go into your scored event, and you can see how the Dare to Try relays, we have it set to both. So it's going to pull both of these in. So what I would actually do is come in here and create an additional scored event too, because if you're wanting to separate these out, or you could use a filter to separate them out.
Show them that in the when you build the report, just that team type selection menu. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, gotcha.
So you just click team summary there. It'll do it.
Yep, and so you also have templates in there that you can add in. And so what I did on this is I had both. but if you just want one, you can have one, or if you want to add a second, you can actually add another, and now you have both on the same for like an awards report. And so when we save that and go into test, you can see them broken out. This is the relay team summary. This is the active duty team summary. And if you wanted to do like test awards, let's say we wanted test and then we wanted actions duplicate, and then we're going to do test awards. I would go in and I would remove splits, because rarely are you needing to see splits in an award setting. And so test awards now, and we could remove team gender in place because those were not asked. So you can kind of trim the fat of all the stuff that you don't want. So pace doesn't need to be in there, clock time, gender, pace. And so we'll just do it to 1 so you can see what the difference looks like. And so this one has a lot of other data. And yeah. And then you can get more creative too. I don't know, I'm probably about to open up a can of worms with this one, but you can do some fun stuff with some of your reports. If you wanted to do like preem reports, you can go in and you can edit the columns to show like specific things like swim place and division and things like that. You can filter by a different override instead of just regular place. You can filter by gender. And so when you go into your preem report, you actually see your fastest swimmer, your fastest biker, your fastest runner for male and female. And yeah, you can do all kinds of fun stuff within those filters and the custom scoring. But we'll leave the the custom fields for another Timer Tip Tuesday. Any other questions?
Nope, nothing right now.
Awesome. Well, I guess we went a little bit over our time. I was trying to keep it to 20, but we had some good questions in there, so I appreciate it. And hopefully you guys found this helpful. We will be doing a few more Timer Tip Tuesdays in the upcoming weeks. So I hope you can join us for those, and best of luck with your events this weekend. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, you don't think I'll do it? Look, it's dialing, okay? So how about that? Hi, Bob? Yeah, I'm trying to do this thing with Brian, but he's just goofing off. He's got a mask on now, and okay, now the audience is here. Sorry, I have to. Hi, thank you all for watching that video. You caught us at kind of a weird time. I apologize for the immaturity that's happening on this side of the room, but appreciate having you here. Please subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to see future videos, you can click the notification bell and all. That'll get you alerts when we post new stuff. And if you enjoyed what you saw here today, please click that thumbs up button, though if you don't, because of Brian's antics right now, completely understandable. We'll try to get this cleared up for next time. Yeah, I can't work like this, Bob.